Hello, I'm Stuart Thomson. I'm the head of BDB Pitman's Public Affairs Consultancy. I'm joined today by Matthew Smith, and we're going to talk about the public inquiry into COVID that the government has recently announced. Matthew is a partner in our Public Law and Regulatory Affairs team. Back in May, the Prime Minister announced a COVID inquiry which will be full, frank and open, but we wanted to learn more about what's involved. Matthew, what is a public inquiry?
A public inquiry is a major investigation established by government into a matter of particular public concern. However, public inquiries are run independently of government, and their main purpose is to answer three principal questions. What happened? Why and who is to blame? And what lessons can be learnt for the future to prevent a recurrence of the events under investigation?
The independent inquiry into the pandemic will start in June 2022. But Matthew, what can we expect from the public inquiry?
I think the key issues are likely to be the UK's higher death rate when compared to its European counterparts, the higher death rate amongst ethnic minorities, and the reasons for and timing of the lockdown periods that we've experienced. I think there will also be calls for a more general review of the government's approach to procurement, especially of PPE, and in particular for hospital workers and care home workers.
And how long is the COVID inquiry likely to last?
There are no set rules about this. Ultimately, the inquiry is in control of its own process, but the government will have a role to play in setting the terms of reference, and it might try to prescribe a date for delivery of the inquiry's report. The government will also not want the inquiry to dominate an election period, and so we think that it will go one of two ways. Either the inquiry will be relatively short and last no more than 18 months, but actually more likely we think it will be put off into the far distance and last upwards of 3 years.
And what is the likely outcome of the public inquiry?
The government is going to be under immense pressure from the outset to accept the recommendations of the COVID-19 inquiry. The Institute for Government tells us that between 1990 and 2017, 46 inquiries have made 2,791 recommendations, and some of those recommendations at least have resulted in significant change. But ultimately, a public inquiry cannot determine civil or criminal liability, and it's up to the government in the final analysis to determine to what extent recommendations will be implemented.
How can BDB Pitmans help during the public inquiry?
We have extensive experience both of advising those responsible for running inquiries and helping to run them, but also in representing individuals and organisations who have to appear at those inquiries. We can provide advice, representation and support to clients, whether that be at the inquiry itself or in preparation for it. We can help people identify their in-house inquiry teams and advise them on how to preserve key evidence. We can be involved in the preparation of witness statements and help those people, support those people who have to give oral testimony at the hearings themselves. We can also provide invaluable communications and reputation management support. But most importantly, we would recommend that anybody who thinks that they're going to be involved in the COVID-19 inquiry or required to assist it to contact us as soon as possible, and we can discuss with them the legal and communications support and representation that they may need.